Let's talk about Lyft. Is their acceptance rate counter broke?
Okay, this is our
Ooh.
Matt from Boston has run into the situation with Lyft. I don't want to talk about his case because it's different, obviously. So I got this email knowing Matt's situation, because he was trying to achieve a certain thing and then he had to accept trips and he accepted trips that I was like, you cannot be serious. You could just to push your acceptance rate to a level, right? Anyhow, so it says, greetings, Sergio. Frederick here, a past guest on Behind the Wheel. Thank you, Frederick. See, he keeps in touch. For the last couple of weeks, I have been tracking my acceptance rate and noticed that I have been at 90% for a week now with no change. This is common, folks. Just tonight, for example, before contacting support, I had accepted 17 rides in a row, still with no change. Does that math add up, Chris? I don't think so. Unless you declined all 17 that is getting kicked out, which is very unlikely, I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Because, by the way, Lyft acceptance rate is out of the last 100, folks. I asked the Lyft support how many rides I have declined of the last 100 offered, and I was told only 5. Well, you took 17 in a row, should have gone up. And that gave me an acceptance rate of 90%? No. I'm not a math expert, but how does that add up? It doesn't, Frederick. The Lyft agent did use
They're
slightly
rounding.
rounding error, edge case. Okay.
No, they're
The
just
Lyft
rounding.
agent did use slightly different terminology though. We're going to get into that. Then Chris is going to do one of his voiceovers, I'm sure. I asked about rides declined, and he told me I had only 5 canceled rides. Lyft.
Well, canceled and not accepted rides are two different things.
Yeah, I get to go tell that to the agent, and and of course I wasn't able to get any other information regarding it after that. Thought it would be a good info for you and your team. Hope you had fun and festive Halloween. We did. I sent a screenshot last night about my acceptance rate hocus pocus from Lyft. I received more information about after further poking and prodding of Lyft support. I included more screenshots for your information. I'm not an English major either, so he's not a math major or an English major, but it's obvious they use the translator because the English is quite bad. Not sure if you're interested in this. Well, obviously we are. We're putting it up. And so this is the support messaging that he got,
Thank
Chris.
you for calling Auto Insurance Services. This is Jackson. How can I help you?
There he
Who's
goes.
Jackson?
Jackson.
Oh,
What's
I'm sorry.
happening, Jackson?
This is Fico. No, I'm sorry. This is Shahad from Lyft Driver Support.
Yeah.
How are you doing today? I'll be more than happy to assist you. And so he says, I'm concerned about my acceptance rate. How many rides have I declined from the last 100 offered? I understand that you are concerned about your acceptance rate, and I really understand how important this is to you. Please allow me a few minutes to hold while I check this for you. Thank you so much for your patience. I've reviewed your recent activity, and out of your last 100 ride requests, only 5 were canceled. That gives you an acceptance rate of 90%, which is a solid performance. Great job. Um, hmm,
We have a
hmm.
standoff. I don't know how that adds up to
If there's a
90%.
chance our team look into this, give you best experience. Was I able to address all your concerns on this chat? Is there anything else I may help you with before I end this chat? Okay, thank you. It appears that Lyft is not being transparent with this information. The accepted rate is being tracked and calculated somehow by the system. This should be easily accessible, so there is no question. I understand, but please do not worry. We take your feedback seriously and work on it to give you good experience on our platform.
And then this is the
Thank
last
you for
one he
trusting
got.
and being with us from long.
He says, why don't I see the cancellations then on my, report, right? On the app. If I cancel, let's say, right, there'll be ride canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
this agent saying, I see 5 cancellations. Well, Lyft, like Chris said, cancellations and declining trips are not the same thing. So we need to train this AI agent a little bit better. If it's an AI
Well,
agent, I don't know.
now that may produce a new wrinkle into the acceptance rate, though. The acceptance rate may now include cancellation rate as well
Okay. But,
versus what you've
uh,
accepted. Because I'm pretty sure actually the verbiage does say of the rides that you take, which means that acceptance rate would include those that came to you, you didn't offer, you didn't accept. And then on top of that, if you canceled, it would also be into that because you didn't complete the ride.
Possibly, but
So
then if you have only
my
5,
my assumption is the verbiage, because that hasn't changed, that's been like
mhm,
that, is that cancellations would also affect your acceptance rate. Um,
I'm not sure.
but
But
the thing is,
even
why
with
would you have an
accuracy,
acceptance rate and a cancellation rate? Like, they're 2
yeah,
different factors.
yeah.
So if they actually are doing that way, they need to revamp it.
Yeah, they need to. I mean, look, they need to say that to the driver. Cancellations are declined trips, let's say. Accept, cancel, that's a declined trip.
Yep.
Lyft should say that, number one. Number two, again, the math still doesn't add up. If you're at 90%, you accept 17 in a row.
No, because here's the thing. Again, it's on it's on a rolling 100. So
Yeah, it's first
if
in,
that
first out.
person, but here's the thing. If they had 17, but they went 17 rides prior to that from that 100, without dropping one off, it wouldn't change. You know what I'm saying? So like, if
No,
you had, if you had, let's say, a couple of rides come in where you cancel or where you decline them, let's say 5 rides came in a row and
yeah,
you decline them, that's gonna take 100 more rides for them to come off, or 100 more things for them to roll off.
yeah,
So, depending on where they were, you can't really see that. You don't know that unless you screenshot everything, and then you could go back and say, "Well, yeah, I out of my last 100, 3 of them should have rolled off. I accepted 17, 3 of them should have rolled off, but they didn't."
yeah. They didn't. Not only that, but also, if he canceled, if the driver canceled 5, okay, which is fine. Shouldn't that be showing on the app though? That canceled trip, right? You canceled. It does show, in a chronological order. It will show that trip canceled. So, and then he went back and asked Lyft support about that, and he goes, the Lyft support says we will be able to see the recent cancellations. Okay. However, we cannot assure the count because let me explain this. This is a human or this is an AI? It looks like sounds like a human. So we can see the cancel rides after you accept them, but then the driver was not able to see the rides that he canceled in his app, which he should. We can see cancel rides after you accept them. However, your acceptance rate will also get effect. What the fuck? When when you do not accept the ride, you receive. Oh, that proves it right there.
Yep.
So if you accept and cancel, that goes against your AR. When you
Yeah.
do not accept the ride, you receive, which we cannot see
So
it.
the problem is this. All this seems is like a miscommunication between somebody who doesn't speak English and the driver. And so yes, what he's trying to say is how many rides have you declined, which means would be the acceptance rate. You think if out of the last 100 rides, if you declined to take them, which means you did not accept them, you just ran the timer through or hit the X, that is a declining offer, then there should be 10 somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
But he comes back and says there were 5 canceled. So within that last 100, you canceled 5 times for whatever reason. Maybe it was because of too many people in the car, or trying to get in the
Yeah, whatever.
car, children,
Yeah.
unaccompanied minors. All the normal things you might cancel. Maybe they're crackheads. Who knows? And you don't want to deal with it. Um, maybe they didn't come out in time. Whatever. So the cancel happened. So out of those last 100 rides, 5 of them canceled. What means is out of the last 100 rides, on top of that, not only were 5 canceled, but 5 weren't accepted.
Yeah. So that counts towards that.
That's
Yeah, I
why,
do.
but they don't clarify that in the chat by saying, "Oh, yes, you have 5, that were canceled and you have 5 that were declined." That's not in there. So how the hell would you know that if you're trying to figure out why? But the biggest thing is, remember, for anybody too, on Uber and Lyft. Uber and Lyft have the rolling counter. So on Lyft, it's 100. That's what we're talking about with 100. Lyft is, or with Uber, it's 500. So what ends up happening is if you've given, let's say, 25 rides in a row, and then you had a cancellation, and then you've had, let's say, just 5 cancellations in a row. That's out of your last 30 rides. So now you have to give 70 rides before those first 25 that you took start rolling off, which are all acceptance. So it's not going to change at all until one of the cancellations or ones that come in, and you've declined, starts rolling off. That's when the
Yeah, it's like
numbers are going to change. So all the time, it might look like you're taking all these rides and it's not changing or it changes so much, but that's because they're calculating it based on two factors instead of one factor, where you may have thought that it was actually only the rides declined versus what you took versus what they actually said is rides completed.
yeah.
So rides
Well,
offered versus rides completed.
yeah,
That's
I
actually
get
mixed
it.
up.
It's like Uber's rating system, right? 500 trips, last 500 trips, it rolls off the 1 stars if you receive 1 star or whatever. I think aren't both Uber and Lyft on except on AR, aren't they the last 100? Right? They're both the last 100, correct?
I don't know. I thought Uber was more. I can't remember.
No, I think they changed it to
I
100.
don't. But that's the thing. I don't give a fuck about acceptance or cancel rates at all. I don't
Yeah,
care
no,
about it at all.
as you should not. Yeah, but unless you're going for maybe elite or something, and they have some sort of in your city
Which I
you have
don't.
some sort of
Again, I don't care. The crap that they give is nothing.
no, but elite gives you different things, which actually I do like Lyft Elite. But if you're working, you should try to achieve it. But so yeah, the English is a little broken, but no, I don't give a rat's ass either. But if you're a full-time driver, I think Lyft does offer you.
Oh, they did change it
For
from
to elite drivers, that it
Right.
offers like some
That's right.
advantages for sure. Yeah.
Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guide. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today. Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
So, but yeah, folks, don't care about AR and CR. Well,
Shows how,
CR you should
shows
care
how
about.
much I care
AR,
about the acceptance rate.
yeah, AR you shouldn't care about. CR, you should, especially with Lyft, you should definitely pay
Well,
attention to that.
my thing is, if I accept a ride, I'm taking it. The only reasons why I wouldn't
Yeah.
take it is, as I said, unaccompanied minors, too many people getting in the car, or if you feel unsafe because of whatever reason, maybe it's a crackhead. You don't know. You don't necessarily know until you get there what's going on. Maybe they didn't show up. Those types of things are the only time that I would cancel. I have the intention of accepting a ride and finishing that ride that I accept. So my cancellation rate, even though it's not zero because of those factors. I mean, how many times have you gone out in just one night and had to cancel because of unaccompanied minors or children without car seats, or picking people up at the bar thinking they're going to pull a fast one and they're going to try fit 9 people in when you can only fit 6? Come on.
Yeah, I
And then
agree.
the best is when it's an Uber X and they have like 8 people that want to get in, and it's like, no, cancel, order the XL, because they don't change it anymore.
Like, a spokesperson said they're helping CPU members as Cherry Pickers United achieve their goal of zero AR. And some people wear that as a badge of honor. Okay, there
They
you go.
do.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah,
And I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're giving shit offers, don't
yeah,
expect people to be
absolutely.
taking them.
I agree.
I would love to have 100% acceptance rate. Trust me, I would love to have it. The reality is, with the crap that's offered with some of these rides, no, not a chance in hell.
No,
Some of
we're
the other
getting
ones, absolutely. That's why cherry picking is still king.
my
If you had
AR in the
great
old
rates
days.
coming,
My AR in the old days was really high. Like, I mean, my utilization was very high because there was
yeah.
all the chips were great. So it's
Oh
like,
yeah, I
why
mean,
wouldn't
pay
I
was
take it?
awesome. It was like $2 a mile.
Yeah, oh, minimum, especially
Yeah.
with the percentage surge. I mean, oh my God, like shooting fish in
Well,
a
it
barrel.
was the X. So like Lyft was always prime time, so that
Yeah,
had
with was
percentage,
PT.
but
Yeah, with
Uber
was
had
surge.
the X, so you'd have like 1.1x or 2.4x or 5x, and it's like, oh, I love those
I think
rides.
my max, I think is 6x from, and I remember the trip. It was from Sunset to LAX.
Nice.
I think it paid, and I long miled it, 405, 105. Because we had the rate card. I think I got paid like $160 for that.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, sure, thumbs up. But Lyft also would surge 200-300 PT in the mornings, and
Mhm.
then great rate card. I mean, put that 300 PT on, $1.30 a mile and 30 cents a minute, you're going places. So yeah, good old days. Good old
Oh,
days.
those were the great old days. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Now you're
amazing.
great.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
It's like
Anyway,
Halloween brought that
so
back, right?
the what?
I said it's like Halloween brought that back.
To a certain degree, yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, sitting at home and cherry picking with $11, and then you know what happened is that search just was there, so I would decline, and then I didn't have to do any Fight Club stuff. I didn't have to do any of that stuff.
Mhm.
So I just picked up like a half mile down the street, my neighbor probably, and then took him somewhere. But it was great. I mean, shit. You gotta love that. You gotta love it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.